Is there anything better than a chicken dinner? Sure is. 3 chicken dinners for the price of 1. Today I'm going to show you how to make succulent spiced chicken legs, delicious, tender, marry me chicken, and spicy chicken noodle soup. But before we start, thanks to Squarespace for sponsoring today's video. It's the platform that makes it incredibly easy for anyone to create a website. But more on that later. 1 bird, 3 meals, way simpler than you think. Don't say let's get stuck in. Don't say let's get stuck in. Let's get stuck in. All right, you're about to cook like a chef and not waste a single thing. So for these 3 meals, we're going to do it from 1 chicken. I'm going to quickly show you how to break this down. It's not that hard at all. First of all, we're going to take the legs and thighs off. We're going to run our blade down the side, making sure that we favor the skin on the breast side. Pop that thigh joint out and then take the leg off. You're going to cut your thigh from your drumstick. I'm going to run through this really quickly. If you want a more detailed video of how to break down a chicken, click the link above. So now we're going to take the wings off, find that joint, out they come, and the breast. Slice down the sternum, along the wishbone, and take the breast off. You can leave the skin on the breast, but I'm gonna pull it off for this recipe. There we go, there's your chicken broken down. We've got the thighs and the drumsticks for our spiced chicken over couscous. We've got the chicken frame and the wings for our chicken noodle soup, and the chicken breast for our marry me chicken. First up, North African spiced chicken legs. With the chicken legs, we're gonna do a North African spiced braise. My version of a chicken tagine. Some really delicious preserved lemons and green olives. Chicken legs, they have a little bit more connective tissue, so they can take a bit of a longer cook, but that connective tissue equals flavor. Flour to a bowl. Season it with salt and sweet paprika. We'll give that a mix. So we've got a large braising pan on over a medium heat. I'm gonna add some animal fat. So that's beef tallow. You could use duck fat, you could use goose fat, or if you don't want to use animal fat, you could use olive oil. While that's happening, we're gonna add our chicken to the flour and completely cover it. So dust off any extra and carefully put it into the fat. We're gonna brown those off for around 8 minutes in total, getting good golden color on both sides. While that's happening, we're gonna slice our red onion and crush and dice our garlic. Ooh. Once we've got some good color on the chicken, pull it out, add the onions, and saute on a medium-high heat for about 3 or 4 minutes until we get some good color. Not just color, good color. We're going to turn our heat down right low, add our garlic, 1 teaspoon ground ginger, 1 teaspoon ground cinnamon, 1 teaspoon ground cumin, half a teaspoon ground turmeric, 1/4 teaspoon dried chili. Give that a stir, let those spices bloom, not Orlando, just normal. That wasn't funny. Add the chicken stock. Give it a stir. Now we add our chicken back, bring it to a simmer, place the lid on it, and just leave it for a good half an hour. And we'll come back. A couple of things we need to get done. We've got some green olives here that are pipped. I like to just leave them whole. You can cut them in half if you want. And then preserved lemon. So preserved lemon are salted lemons. These are really popular throughout North Africa and the Middle East. And they're really easy to get ready. What you're trying to eat is actually the skin, not the flesh on the inside. So run your knife across that. You can eat this, but it does tend to be a little bit salty. And then I like to slice them relatively thin. If you can't get access to preserved lemons, I'd just use some lemon zest, but do it right at the end. The recipe is gonna say 2 tablespoons of kind of chopped preserved lemons, but I might go a bit more heavy-handed than that. Then just some coriander. I don't like going too fine, plenty. I'm just gonna have a nap. We'll be back in 20. It's looking good. I'm gonna take the lid off, turn the heat up, just baste our chicken a little bit, and let that sauce reduce a little bit. In with our olives and our preserved lemon. We're just trying to heat those through, really. So we're gonna serve this over some couscous. 1 thigh, 1 drumstick each. And lots of that sauce with the olives and the preserved lemons on there. Coriander. Delicious. That is comfort food at its finest. It's rich, it's unctuous, and that preserved lemon cuts through it incredibly well. You should definitely make this even if you don't have a whole chicken, just use some drumsticks. So let me tell you a little bit more about Squarespace. Its design intelligence feature uses AI to build you a personalized website that matches your style perfectly. It's as simple as answering some questions and you're gonna get a website that's tailored to your needs. And its visual design tools are built in and ready to go, with dozens of options to work with any type of brand. Plus, monetization is super simple with Squarespace payments. It handles purchases, subscriptions, and checkout all in one system. If you want to create your own website, then head over to squarespace.com/AndyCooks for a free trial. And when you're ready to purchase, use code AndyCooks for 10% off your first purchase. Now let's get back to the cooking. Now we've all absolutely ruined and butchered chicken breast before, but it is delicious. And this is one of the surefire ways to make sure you cook it with lots of flavor and it doesn't dry out. First things first, season your chicken. Now, get a plate, a little bit of flour, season your flour as well with salt and white pepper. Give that a mix. So to the pan, we're gonna add about a tablespoon of olive oil and about 25 grams of butter. Dust our chicken breasts in our flour, pat off any excess and into the foamy butter. Just keep checking this. We're looking for some good color, but it's also got no skin on it, so it's not going to get really super golden brown. We don't want the flour to burn too much, so control your temperature. If it's getting too hot, turn it down, let it come down a little bit. The thing is with chicken breast is that it often dries out because people overcook it. So we're just going to make sure that we're keeping an eye on that core temperature, not yet, but when we're close to finishing it and considering carryover cooking. So I like to pull my chicken breast when they get to like 62 degrees. They'll continue to carry over cooking to like at least 65 degrees Celsius anyway. And for me, that's perfectly safe to eat. All right, while they're doing their thing, just gonna crush and chop 3 cloves of garlic, and we'll slice our sun-dried tomatoes. Lovely and rich and sweet. They were an ingredient that was used a lot when I first started cooking in like the 90s, and they kind of fell out of fashion, but it's good to see them starting to come back because they are delicious. We've got color in our chicken. Gonna remove it, put it on a plate and set it aside. Turn the heat right down. You don't want this to burn right now. Add our garlic, our sun-dried tomatoes, and the oregano. Just saute it for like 30 to 40 seconds. We're just trying to open that garlic up a little bit. We do not want it to burn. Deglaze with chicken stock. Make sure you scrape all that fond off the bottom. Add the cream, turn it down low, stir the cream through the stock, and we just want it to simmer. We don't want it to boil at this point. Add our chicken back. Lid on, I'm just gonna simmer that for the chicken to fully cook. 15 minutes in, let's have a look. Looking good. Check temperature. Yeah, we're already at 60 degrees. Pretty close. Now turn that up. We just want the sauce to reduce a bit now. I reckon that's another 5 minutes and that is ready. Our sauce is reduced nicely. It's at about 64 degrees now, chicken, which is perfect. I like serving my Marry Me chicken over rice because I love rice. So you can do it over mashed potato, do it over buttered pasta, completely up to you. Put your chicken breasts on top of your rice. Lots of the sauce with all the sun-dried tomatoes over the top. A little bit of broccoli or broccolini on the side for some fiber. Marry Me chicken. There's no way a chicken breast cooked in reduced chicken stock, cream, and sun-dried tomatoes doesn't taste delicious. Story goes, this dish was getting made for a magazine in the US. The videographer came and had a bite and said, "I'd marry you for that chicken." That's delicious. We've got the chicken frame and the wings for our chicken noodle soup. Then I've actually got the skin in there as well. In that goes the skin from the breast, that is. I'm gonna cover that in water. This is an ideal recipe. If you've ever felt guilty about throwing that frame out, this is the best way I think to use a frame up, which is to make a really delicious stock. Now we're making an Asian style chicken noodle dish here, so we don't really add any other flavors to the stock. We want a very clean stock. I'm gonna put a lid on that. I'm gonna bring that to a simmer, and we're gonna simmer it for about 25 minutes till the chicken meat's cooked. We're gonna pull the chicken out, let it come down to temperature a little bit. I'm gonna put all the meat off, and we're gonna put the bones back in and continue cooking that for another 25 to 30 minutes. The reason we do that and pull the meat out after 20 minutes is we don't wanna overcook it, but we haven't got all the flavor out of the bones yet. So we put the bones back into the pot and we continue to cook it. So for the base of the soup, we've got these 4 aromats here. 4 cloves of garlic that we're gonna crush and finely dice. About a 4 centimeter piece of ginger, which is peeled and then finely grated. We've got 1 red long chili, which is finely diced, seeds in, seeds out if you don't like it too spicy. We've got 2 large shallots that we're gonna finely dice also. So our stock's been simmering for about 45 minutes in total now. And you can see it's kind of like a cloudy color. That's okay. I haven't skimmed for many impurities. I've let the fat stay in there. It's all flavor. I wouldn't stress too much. You want a really clean chicken broth flavor. I've got a large saucier on the heat, and I'm gonna add a tablespoon of neutral flavored oil. I'm using peanut here. We're gonna add our shallots. Just a little pinch of salt, saute for 1 minute. Next, we're gonna add our chili, garlic, and ginger. Another 45 seconds. Now, when we start seeing a little bit too much color like that, you can just deglaze your pan with a little bit of your chicken stock. 1/4 cup peanut butter. You can use crunchy or smooth. I'm using smooth here. And add just another 1/2 ladle of stock in there. It's gonna help you melt that peanut butter down a little bit. You're gonna add fish sauce, 3 teaspoons-ish. You can always add more later. And about 1 teaspoon of sugar at this point. Don't need too much. Peanut butter tends to be pretty sweet anyway. Smells good. So we're gonna add our chicken stock. I just use a ladle and a sieve, just to make sure we don't get any bones or bits of fat or anything. Get it all in there. Stir that through. Just gonna let that simmer for about 10 minutes. 10 minutes later, let's have a taste, see where we're at. Tastes good. What we're trying to do is balance the sweet, sour, salty, and get that umami there. The umami's already in there. All that chicken, fish sauce, full of it. We are gonna up the salt a little bit by adding a bit of soy sauce, and I've just turned the heat off at this point. Stir that through, and I want some zing. So I got a big juicy lime. I'm gonna add the whole thing here. Stir that through, have another taste. Yum. Move that to the side. Got a pot of water here. Bring that back to a simmer. I've got the sauce on a really low heat. So I'm gonna add my chicken back to it at this point. We just need to bring that up to temperature. We don't need to cook it. Let's cook the noodles. So noodles in boiling water. Bowl's ready. It's all about layers now. Go. Oh no, killed it. All right, once your noodles have boiled over and made a mess, pull them out, let them drain into the bowls. To blanch your Asian greens, I'm using bok choy today. We're gonna add the white parts first, give them an extra 30 seconds. While those are blanching, we can add our sauce to the top of the noodles. Asian greens on top, spring onions, and optional, a little bit of chili crisp. You like it a bit spicier. There you go, a spicy peanut chicken noodle soup made from things that would otherwise go in the bin. It's creamy from the peanut butter, full of umami, sweet, sour, salty, savory. And if you want to make this and you don't have a whole chicken to break down, just replace it with chicken wings. They're like the cheapest thing you can buy. So there you go, 1 chicken, 3 dinners, all delicious, and dinner sorted till Wednesday for you and a mate. We'll see you next week, legends.